news for you. This morning, it all became super clear. What we're going to explore today is this. Never get into a relationship again. Never get together again. And we'll make clear why you shouldn't do it. And we'll give you an alternative that's a lot more powerful than getting together or being in a relationship.
This is for the men out there.
Yes. This is for the man. Women, you can watch along, but we're speaking to the man.
No, women can't watch. Welcome, everyone. So, yes, an analogy that we brought up before we started the recording here is, imagine that, okay, you're a man, the greatest adventure in your life is the relationship that your woman wants you to go on with her. Imagine that's the greatest adventure. Like, you have no adventure bigger than that, and it's her idea of the adventure is the relationship, and you're to whatever degree inspired by it, but it's her adventure essentially that you're going on.
Yes.
So you get on her ship, right? Called relation. So her relationship.
I can see it on the boat.
Yes.
Painted.
Yes. She's steering it. You're out on the high seas. There's conflicts. There's beauty. There's romance. There's love. There's conflicts. But she's driving it. And there's there's a part of you, like, you're on the ship, you're getting battered around by the waves, and but you're looking also for some kind of adventure in your life. You are looking for the adventure that calls to you. And in the background you hear, "Hey, batten down the hatches." "Hey, why aren't you putting up the sail? Wax the deck. Hey, you didn't throw the trash overboard." Whatever. And you can find yourself out on this ship with no way back.
Yes.
You can't jump over. You can't get out of it. And you're not fully there.
No. And when this is another, like, never get into a relationship. This is another flag I would plant. Why not? When a woman is put in a position to steer the ship, when she's put there, she will hit for the iceberg. It will go bad, and it's, even if she thinks, "Fuck, I gotta do this," and even if she thinks, "I'm trying to do this," it's not in the nature of the feminine to lead. It's like in a dance, it's the masculine that leads the dance. So when a woman is put in the role of leading, and that's the only, and she has to do it, and a lot of women do it because the men are not showing up, they drop the ball. But if a woman is put in that position, steering the ship, she will hit for the iceberg for no other reason than contempt that she's put in that position, yes, even unconsciously.
Yes.
And so
she's hoping a big chunk of ice or a big wave is going to wake you the fuck up.
Yes.
Because you're just in the back of the boat sleeping on the job.
trying to work a little less.
Trying to be good enough.
Yes.
Right.
Oh, my boss is not watching.
You're just tolerating. Oh, my wife. Oh, my girlfriend. You're just tolerating. You're not
trying to get away from the boss, drink a beer, and complain about her. And that's, like, even in a different sense, I always say, I don't, even
for years, all my life.
Before I was born. Don't get into a relationship, because this is a different angle. In a way, like, I wonder, for years, women would I had the history too of women trying to get me into a relationship with them. And I always said, well, what is that? What is being in a relationship? What does it mean to get together? And I never, not never, but almost never, I get satisfying answers to that. And it's just, it seems that it's nothing more than a set of assumptions around what is expected from you, how to behave towards me, and how other people need to behave towards me. It's like almost saying to the world, this is mine, so what's your behavior?
Yes.
And that's it.
And oftentimes it's not talked about, those expectations.
It's completely
until you're falling short
yes.
out of the expectation.
And then people are feeling betrayed, then there's cheating, then there's whatever.
Yes.
You know? And so
I'm just picturing just like relationship is this this ship on the high seas that the woman is driving, and it's going all over the place.
Yes.
And the man is getting knocked around, and he's not driving, and he's not like on the adventure,
yes.
you know? Ahoy, you know, we're going.
And she's saying, "Come on, man, you gotta," you know.
Yeah,
and he's it's not his adventure. You know, he went on her boat instead of being on his boat, and she's coming along. You know, but I want to finish this. In a way, what we do when we get, like, I was wondering, what is the qualitative leap that we take when we go into a relationship? Now, there's some women who told me great things, and it was, they want, being in a relationship means, I want to build a future with this man. You know, I think that's a great answer. But for many people, it's just a set of presuppositions, assumptions around how anyone should behave. And in that sense, it is in many ways, getting into a relationship is the end of relating well. It really is the beginning of the end. You know, the moment they say, because
it becomes about managing. It's like a business, and we need to get up to this level every day, and you're not matching up, and then we manage the relationship.
That could go well, but what I see that the real trouble is when you get into a relationship, the practice of relating well is no longer, it's as if it's acquired. It's as if it's done, you know? And so
it's not an art, it's not an adventure, it's not a choice.
It's not a mastery. So you give up the very thing that's needed for this to work well. You know, and I see men do this too. They got the woman now, and so they're focused on whatever, the career or whatever, and the relating goes down. It's the same, you know. You go into a set of expectations of behaviors, and the very thing that's needed from you is to be really committed to this relating well, goes overboard. And so that's the trouble by getting into a relationship. That's the trouble by getting together.
So what we're proposing here is two alternatives, two adventures basically. One, find your own adventure.
Yes.
Right? Remember those make your own adventure books, right?
I don't know that.
Basically, you read a part of the story, and then you say, if you choose to do this, go to this page. If you choose to do this, go to this page. So you're not just on this book reading through someone's story. You get to choose your own adventure. Anyway,
it's like Zan said, women don't want to be the adventure. They want to be on an adventure. And I think it's a great way of saying it.
So have your own adventure that you invite her on into. And the other one is the adventure of allyship. It's an invitation into a different kind of relating that has an extremely high level of commitment, but that calls you to be, let's say, the hero or the leader in the face of everything. You are the leader. It's a really high level of, and it's less about this thing that you need to manage behaviors, and it's 100% about your leadership.
I think you could speak a lot more to that. Like, what does it mean to be an ally? But like, picture this. The first thing you said, go on an adventure of your own choosing. So the man is going, and the boat, he's steering the boat, and the boat is not called relationship. It's called ally. This is the allyship.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
And so the allyship is something that to me is I think what's key in this is that you come with it to the woman. It's not the woman saying, let's get into a relationship, and the man reacting to that. That's already, she's leading this now, you know? And when she's leading it, straight to the iceberg, you know? As a man watching this, you gotta lead this. You gotta be the one going to the woman and say, what is this to you, you know? You gotta be the one going to the woman and says, we're taking this to the next level. Because allyship is something way beyond a relationship. So the woman doesn't have to choose between the relationship she has in mind and this and him not committing in a way, she has to choose between the relationship she has in her mind, and then a guy coming and saying, I got something that's a lot more powerful, that's a lot more committed than the relationship that you're thinking of.
Yes.
You know, because in most relationships there's no real commitment. I asked married people, they made vows for the rest of their lives, and I asked them, what were your vows, which is a commitment, and they don't know. They don't know. They committed to something for their life and they don't know. And I think marriage is a beautiful ceremony to celebrate commitment in a relationship, which is to me the cornerstone of every relationship. But it is so presupposed, so assumed, there's nothing deliberate in it. So I think the key of this is that you come to the woman as the leader with something that's higher than the relationship she's been thinking of. And that's the allyship. And how is
so this is very conceptual.
Yes. Yes.
Give an example.
How is the allyship more committed?
So I'll just use the example with Deborah. The adventure that I invited her to was this. We're going to be 100% honest with each other.
Yes.
And we're going to be committed to our own personal growth, maximum personal growth, and the other person's maximum personal growth. And it's one day at a time, and that's it. That was our only commitment. Anything else, it's just day by day. There's no like, you shouldn't be flirting with girls, or you shouldn't go out with the guys, and she shouldn't do this, and there wasn't all these expectations, either verbalized or unverbalized. It was just that.
Say it again. The two things.
We're 100% honest with each other.
Yes.
And we're committed to our own personal growth and the other person's personal growth. So inside of a conflict, I want to grow from this conflict. And I want you to grow from this conflict.
Yes.
And you want me to grow, and you want yourself to grow from this conflict. And this is the adventure we're on.
Great.
That's it.
I had very similar vows that I exchanged with women over the years. And with me it was something like, not personal growth, but I said, I will do everything in my power to keep myself happy. And which is from Abraham Hicks. And so I will never hold you responsible for the way I feel. You're off the hook. And then I had vows around how to deal with disagreement, which the goal of that was also to grow from disagreement, to see the opportunity that we get with each disagreement. And I based it on Gottman's Four Horsemen, but there were very specific ways of how I want to be with her in disagreement, and where this is going to lead.
Yes.
And the honesty is also one,
Yes.
to be completely, I don't remember the exact, but it's something similar, like to face everything. And that's what I mean by saying we are in an open relationship, which means not, I could just fuck anyone, but it does mean I'm going to share everything you want to know, and really like push the openness in that way. And it's tough, man. It's not easy, but those are the same. It seems very similar pillars. So I never use the word allyship, but I think it's so powerful,
The cornerstone of it for me is it's like the ultimate win-win.
Yes.
Way of relating. I'm not gonna compromise myself for you or for the relationship. You're not gonna compromise yourself for me or for the relationship. It's win-win or nothing. Yes. So there's never any resentment. There's no regrets. You're both 100% choosing your path.
What have you found in your experience the challenges of such a relationship?
Well, I think let me say it like this. I view myself as an ally.
Yes.
To humanity, in relation to all people. That's my higher thing. It's less that I have expectation of others that others would play at that level.
Yes.
Because it takes a lot.
Yes.
And in the beginning, I think you can have an expectation that someone else will be your ally.
Yes.
That they'll show up in a certain way, they'll respond in a certain way. And if you go into it with that kind of an expectation,
yes,
then that kind of puts you back into a relationship that you're managing. That is the other person playing at this level? Because I'm going to manage my commitment based on how the other's showing up. And so there's there's never any excuse for me to play small, for me to back off, for me to be less of an ally. So it's almost like it's all in a way it's all about who I'm choosing to be.
I understand, but still, like I'll tell you what for me the challenges were. Like I'm imagining now. I'm not going to say names. Okay, but I imagine a relationship where I show up as an ally, which is a greater thing than this. I propose an allyship instead of a friendship, and it's a great thing, and it's because it's greater than the woman can even see for a relationship that I see a lot of women are going along and want to try it. But the challenge for me was to face or deal with her desire to have a kind of a relationship in a way, and have some elements of that relationship for her with me. And so dealing with the desire to be even, to say, spend more time, to live together, the challenge was the pain that was caused for the woman to shift from I want a relationship to this is great, I want this allyship. And that period costs needs time in my experience.
Be specific, because it's very at a conceptual level right now.
It is?
Yeah.
So I meet a woman and she wants to be in a relationship with me, and I say I will not get into a relationship because I'm against relationships, but I'm proposing this allyship. And she can instantly see the benefits from that. Mm-hmm. And she agrees, but there's a desire there also to be in a relationship, and for me to spend more time with her, for me to be there with her, for me not to see other women, like the old remnants, the old story of this is what I want, this is my desire, and to gradually let go of that, and buy in and grow as in the allyship. That costs time, and there's a period here. That transition that's very painful for the woman. It's very painful for her to see, he's not, for example, sexually exclusive, or he's not necessarily the father of my children as I foresaw it. And like to see that transition for her, come to terms with that, get away from judgments from other people, who's this guy? And having to deal with that, and trusting me, he is an ally, he shows up that way. That costs time and pain, and for me to witness that and take care of that, that's a big challenge to me. That's a real.
And just to be clear for people watching or listening, an allyship does not mean, or to be an ally does not mean that you don't commit to exclusivity, or that you don't make even traditional types of commitments in vows in a relationship. It's not about that, but this happens to be your choice.
Yes.
The way that you're inviting people into allyship.
Yes.
Yes.
To me the pain. What I realize is to be open in that sense, which is more along the honesty, the rawness, and wanting to deal with everything. It's the openness that would cause. There's tension there, there's something, it's painful in a way, it's very challenging, and
what's challenging?
To be open and to be able to say no, anything can happen, and we're going to bring it to each other.
Again, it's also very conceptual.
Wow, to me it's not conceptual at all.
I know, because you talk about it all the time. It's clear what you mean by it.
Like, I'll give an example, okay? Okay, I'll give a personal example for me. Like we I'm thinking of an old relationship, and we had an open relationship in the sense that anything can happen, and we commit to bringing it to each other, and dedicated to our own growth. See what happens. So, and I think, okay, I'm a man without jealousy. I'm cool, you know. I can deal with this. And so we had no commitment to sexual exclusivity. Now you could choose that or not, but we didn't have one. Okay, and she would see someone, you know, and I'm perfectly fine with it. I you know, that's great. And one day she would come. We would see each other, you know, and she would have the hand on her ass of a guy she was seeing who smacked her, you know. And I'm like, the fuck, you know. And I had to face that, and I'm like, I have to deal with my own insecurities or jealousy. Am I jealous now? Am I territorial? Is this right? And so the openness is right in your face, you know. It's like I had to deal with that, find a solution, how I feel about it, agree, you know, talk with this. And these are discussions you don't need to have if you're in a, say, traditional relationship assumed where this is not happening, you know, and so you don't have to deal with it.
You know, we talked about tolerate nothing the other day. This is an ally, as I see it. Allies tolerate nothing.
Yes.
There's no compromise. It's 100% win-win, and yeah, it's a higher standard of relating, but there's also much more growth possible and transformation possible, which is a big part of the adventure that then you're inviting her to, and that you're on. It's like, we're gonna face shit. Yes. We're gonna step up. We're going to.
So how does the not tolerating in this situation apply? Or were you thinking of something else? It's not like you say don't tolerate this. Okay, yeah.
Well,
that's what I thought.
For
I
example,
just wanted to make clear.
If it bothers you, you don't say anything. You don't confront it. You don't deal with it, and you're really suffering around it. Right.
So what I did in that situation was bring it, because we have an open relationship. I said, "Fuck, I don't know how I feel about this." Exactly what I told you. I don't know if I'm jealous, but fuck, I can feel it right now. I don't like it, and it doesn't mean I'm saying don't do it. You know. I can feel it, you know, and that's something you now deal with.
Yes.
You know? And that's the openness of a relationship.
Yeah, and here's a distinction. This would be great to kind of like map out on a piece of paper or something. Is like the difference between a relationship and allyship.
That's great.
And I think inside of a relationship you have complaints, you know. Uh-huh. You have complaints because it's 50-50, really. Yeah. You know, is the other person doing their part? Oh, this person's responsible to make me feel a certain way.
Yes.
That's not the case as I see it, an allyship. It's not about, my job is not to make it so this person's not upset or something like this. It is to stand for the ultimate growth and well-being and whatever of this person. But there's many situations where it's more than like a comfortable being nice to love someone. It's often a tough love kind of a situation.
Yes.
And where, you know, I'm not gonna compromise myself for the relationship. You know, I might make a sacrifice for the other person. I might make a sacrifice for the allyship, for the alliance. I like the word alliance better, actually. Yeah, that's the word I normally use, but
it's nicer on the boat too. Alliance.
Deborah and I used the term lovers alliance. We have a lovers alliance, and it was incredible. It was incredible, our way of relating, our way of being committed. It was great. So and we're still allies, but the part about us being lovers has transformed. Like, yes. We are no longer lovers.
That's what I see too. Like that's how the way you are together, the lifestyle is inconsequential, not inconsequential, but it's secondary.
Yes. And
it just shapes and morphs but you in that sense, this is another way where allyship is. Let's see all the advantage of an alliance towards a relationship is like instead of compromise, you can have sacrifice. You know, the commitment is a lot deeper, is a lot more profound. Also, what I've seen is that my alliances are forever. They have a way better chance of lasting forever if your commitment is real than a friendship. You know, because people get in a relationship, and when they don't like the other, their behavior, they get out of it. They break up.
Well, and then, I had this metaphor. They both jump off of the ship, and then they blow the ship up.
Yes.
Right?
And it's crazy. I see
they destroy the relationship.
So many people break up a relationship because they had presupposed expectations of the other. They didn't get the expectations, didn't get fulfilled. They feel betrayed. They get for small matters, you know, and they get out of a relationship when they could be great together. And so the allyship or the alliance is a way higher form of showing up for a man to show up committed in the life of his women, to show up very committed, and at the same time completely honor his own desires, his own sense of adventure, his love for women. It's a man, instead of getting into a relationship because the woman wants it, it's a man leading the way. He's leading it, and he's saying, we're going to do this, come on the adventure with me. It's called alliance, and it's a way more powerful and a way more adventurous way of being with women. And so yes.
And the cornerstone is, it's about who he's choosing to be in the face of anything.
Right.
Who he's choosing to be as a man.
Because that's the greatest thing. You don't need, say, the same. You don't need your woman to commit to alliance. You know, you just need to show up as an ally. You could do it alone, even if you've been, say, in a relationship for years and years, and it's kind of like compromising and lukewarm. You can still shift it around as the man if you make a stand for an alliance. If you make a stand to be an ally for this woman.
Yes, to be an ally. Yes.
To be an ally instead of being the boyfriend or the husband or whatever.
If you do have, like, to me, an alliance is, it's two or more people, right? Mm-hmm. It's not just yourself. Right. You can be an ally, but you don't really have an alliance unless the other person is in.
100%.
But there's definitely a level of skill there and experience that's needed to have it really work powerfully.
That's exactly, like I carve my way.
Which is what my trainings are about.
Yes, hours.
Yes.
I carved my way through a lot of trial and even more error. But that's exactly what because I could not live with myself, giving up my sense of adventure, my love for women, for a relationship, you know. And my first reactions to this, because I want to show up powerful and committed to women, was to give up a kind of like that sense of adventure and like getting into a relationship. And then I realized not only is it a compromise, but it is a less powerful way to show up in a woman's life. And so I carved my way inside and like accepting my adventure and then just presenting it to a woman, and then more and more including women into it, be inclusive of them. And what I realized with time is that alliance, the way you present it, the way I have the vows, is a lot more powerful than the relationship. And once you can communicate that to your woman, you know, she'll gladly step on board because it's way higher than what she ever thought of a relationship. So yeah, never get into a relationship again, ever. It's not fair, not towards you or the women. Present her something more powerful, like an alliance, or present her show up more powerful, like you showing up as an ally. All right.